Hi, everybody. Okay, now we're live. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Blogging Lunchtime Bytes. This is a show sponsored by today'svisions.com. All the technical stuff we're going to do back in the back end of Today's Visions. So if you haven't signed up for your account, go ahead and go out there. It's free of charge, and you get a free blogging site. So with me is the beautiful and the lovely Catherine Wilfong. Hi, Catherine.
Hey, Rosanna, right back at you with that one.
Thank you. So how are you doing today?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm good. You getting your blog post written up?
You know, I have been working on topics for my blog post. I have a bunch of topics. So
that's really cool. So you're going back to that first suggestion where I said make a whole bunch of topics and then start writing the blog posts from there?
Yeah, I actually am. I might just write one and post it, but I do have a bunch of topics in mind. I was trying to come up with a series. I really want to come up with a theme for my first blog post and kind of narrow it down from there and keep a kind of, when you talk about consistency, it can also be in getting it out on time and then also keeping a consistent theme for a period of time.
I agree with you. I think that's a really, really great idea. So I'm going to go back in the back end again today then, and we'll go ahead and continue on from where we stopped last time. Unless you have any questions over what we covered last time.
No, I think it was pretty straightforward, what we covered last time. And if anyone in the audience has any questions, I have Comment Tracker running. Arizona Tasking Comment Tracker. So.
Learn and grow. Yay.
Yay.
Yeah, and if you're in the audience and you would just like for us to say hi, let us know you're out there and we'll just say hi.
Absolutely. I love saying hi to everyone.
Definitely. Well, I'm grabbing my keyboard and I'm going to turn off my camera. Pardon?
So does Alexa. She likes saying hi to everyone.
Hi, Alexis. Okay, I'm going to turn my camera off and then skedaddle back to screensaver and we'll start her up, okay?
Alrighty.
All right. And you'll have to let me know whether or not you can see what I am seeing.
I can see your screen.
Okay, cool. So this is, once again, this is a Today's Visions back end, and this is what you see when you first come up into your screen. And I call it the Village Bulletin Board because it just shows you the latest and greatest from around the village, the new stuff that's been shared. Like this beautiful, isn't this gorgeous by Joyce? It is so pretty. Okay, so we're going to go, let's go ahead and we're going to do a new post. So it's loading. And you can ignore all these little things I get up here. You won't see these. And I did put I put my my back end into easy mode. And if you're not in easy mode, it's really easy. Go up to here where your site is. And I see exit easy mode, but you should see enter easy mode. And it just makes life really easy. It describes what all you need to do. So this is a test post. I'm just going to put in here in the title. You have 65 characters. And down here, I'm just going to put this is a test. Again. And this is, we got into this, and I think we pretty much explained all of the different functionalities on this. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
and
you even named it. even told us what editor it was.
Okay. And we went down and we did excerpt, correct?
I believe you talked about excerpts.
Yeah, it's really important to have a good excerpt that is different, has a different opening than your article. And I know we talked about tags. So let's go ahead and add an image. So you're going to go up to this, it says Add Media. And this shows all the wonderful images I already have in. So you can select from something you already have, or you can go to Upload Files. And if you go to Upload Files, you just go to Select Files, and see, I'm going to go out to my Dropbox and to my quote pics. You can see all the crazy stuff I have in here. And I'm just going to pick one. And once it gets it loaded up, this is where life can get really fun. You can decide what size you want it. So you can have full size. Not really good to have full size. I'm going to tell you that right now. Large 700, that's probably your best. 700 pixels is what the center of the website was designed for. So, and I got it centered. And you can put in a custom, let's say I wanted it just to go to todaysvisions.com on its Lunchtime. And then I can click Insert into Post. And there it comes up. Everybody with me so far?
Well, I am, for sure.
Okay.
Anyone out there? Hello, hello, hello.
I'm so scared about going too fast. So now, I know that if you've looked at any of my articles, you probably have seen that I put, rather than doing a full-size image like this, I tend to like mine on the left-hand side with the text wrapped around it. So, would you like to know how to do that?
Sure.
Okay, so we're going to choose the same image. And we're going to scroll down. Oh, I forgot to show you. You should always change your title to be something that, even though this isn't seen by the human eye, it is seen by the search engines, and your alt text and your description as well. You should fill in those three minimum. But now I want to go ahead. I want to do it as a thumbnail image.
Let's go back to Arizona.
Okay.
The title.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're in this box where it says title, now for the search engines, this is because you want to possibly be picked up on, in searches.
Correct.
This might be where you spend some time thinking about what you want to put as a title, because this, like you said, is not going to show up in any place on your blog. This is just behind the scenes in, I don't know, it's not called code, but
well, it actually is in the code.
Oh, okay. Well, yay for me. I'm psychic.
Yes, you are. We found that out last week.
Came up with the word code. I don't know. Somehow that word just came to my mind.
Mm-hmm.
So these are words you want to maybe spend a little time, doing a search for, figuring out what's going to rank. That's actually related to what you're writing about. I don't know, but possibly. I don't know how SEOs do it, but
well, SEOs primarily have one or two companies. I can't say that there are huge SEO companies that do multiple clients, but you spend your time researching, like quotes what are the all the different ways of saying quote,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever like that. And there are keyword analysis tools to help you.
Okay, so possibly for your title, you would use a keyword analysis tool and really use that and put that in this spot.
Yes.
If you're really trying to get ranked.
Right.
Okay.
And if you want to, and if we get enough of a response back from the audience, we can actually go out and look at a keyword analysis tool next week.
Awesome. Okay.
Because you're going to use it for the title, you're going to use it for your copy, and you're going to use it for this, your image title and your image alt text and your description. So it's really important to know what keywords are in your field.
Okay, great. Just wanted to, dig a little bit here because this is important.
It is.
So in alt text, I'm not sure what that means. Alternate text?
Alternate text, yeah. And, you can put in, like, I know this quote is a kindness matters. Kindness matters. Quote. Oh, what'd I do? Y'all don't want to see that.
Well, I guess it just showed the code.
And then the description, you could actually put in the a kind word is like. So you're actually putting in different text. And this slide link, we'll get into this later because this is when I show you how to actually set up a slider.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not protected. The alignment, I want to make it left. Because
Okay.
That's what I like. But you can do center, right, or none. Center does not work the way you think it would work. It doesn't put text on either side. It centers it on a line by itself.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can go right. And I did mine as a thumbnail. So now we insert that into the post. And now we have a little one.
Okay.
Now let's say I wanted to actually put the quote underneath this.
Okay.
That means I want to go back in and edit, so I'm going to hit this little pencil here.
All right.
And I'm going to edit it. And my caption, which is up here,
Mm-hmm.
that's where I'm a kind word is like a spring day. Boom. Now, if I update it, a kind word is like a spring day is right underneath it as a caption. So, no sense having two of these on, so let's go ahead and delete one. So if I click on this one, the big one, and I hit the X, and that's it, it's gone.
Okay.
And which is going to bring us up to the next screen. But this, I didn't show you this publish box last time.
Right.
But this is where you can go preview, and it opens up a new window, and it shows you exactly what it's going to look like on the website. Always good to save the draft, preview it, look it over really, really good before you go ahead and post it. I've gotten in the habit because so often, I'll get thinking and I make typos. So I save them as a draft, and I come back the next day and eyeball it again with a fresh perspective. So
yeah,
it is, and some of the best bloggers I've run into do that. They actually will work on their blog post for 2-3 days, coming back over and over and over again, which is another reason why it's good to have one ahead of time.
Makes sense.
So that's, and you can see the share buttons are automatic, and that's what it looks like right now from this. Also available in the saved draft is you can publish immediately, or you can edit it and you can publish in the past. So I can set this up to publish, say, on the 3rd. There's my problem. Now on the 3rd.
Okay.
Okay, and it will publish it in the past, or more often than not, you probably want to publish it in the future. I said it for the 10th, and now it says schedule instead of publish.
So what would be the advantage of publishing it in the past?
I really can't. I'm trying to think of times when I've done it for clients. Let's say I have 10 posts, and they want to go, when they go live, they want to look like they've already done a lot of work. So I may post every other day. I may set up past schedules or posts that are scheduled in the past.
So someone wants to set up a website that looks like they've published things that's gone back, for a while.
Right. So they look like, irregardless of how new they are, they look like they've been active at least for a while.
Nice. Okay. I understand. Because possibly they've been doing work, just maybe not on the web.
Right. They've been writing their blog posts, but they've, not been ready to go live with it.
That makes sense.
The other thing is this visibility. And you can password protect something. And what that does is that people can only get into your content if they have a password. Mm-hmm. Or you can make it private, which means that only you can see it.
Ah, okay.
And that's a nice thing too. The other cool thing under public is that you can stick the post to the front page. Now, if you do want a slider on your front page, and we're going to get into this more on another show, but if you definitely want a slider on your front page, you have to click this stick to front page, because that's what throws it into the slider.
What's a slider?
If you look at today's Visions homepage, go out there.
It's like a running banner.
Yeah, it's this thing right here that scrolls way too fast on this one. It does.
Okay.
So that's the slider, and what it does is it just shows your top. This one's set up to show the top 10 posts that you have.
Makes sense.
Most recent 10, or the most recent that you've got stuck. The format really may come into play with our new update that we're doing, and if it does, I'll do a video about it, but right now it's not really coming into effect all that much. The author, this is a great one. They'll say that you are inviting guest bloggers onto your site, which is fine. I have no problem with that. You would give them access into it, set them up as a user, and then they would choose their name as the author.
Right.
And it will show the neat little author box underneath, as well as having the byline. And the other thing I can think of is the categories. And categories they're your primary organization tool. So, trying to think, for a regular blog, you might have, let's go ahead and look at this. Business 52, Colorado Springs, and Pagosa Springs. So I actually have 2 levels of categories there, where I have, I started a category called Business 52, 52 weeks in a year, and then the cities in which those businesses are located.
Gotcha.
And featured image. You can set your featured image. Remember, I said this does not show up unless you do this. Your featured image is not going to show up inside the article. But if you don't have a featured image, then the image doesn't show up on your front page. Does that make sense?
If you don't have an image, then the featured image doesn't show up on the front page?
Yeah. Let me go to Curiously Happy.
Okay.
And you see how she has all these images right here?
Yes.
She has these because she set up her image under featured image. But this one, she doesn't have one.
Right.
So that's the difference. And it's real easy to set your featured image. Most times you're going to choose whichever image that you've already set up. And you just click set image. But you can always upload, so you can have a different featured image from an image that you have in your post.
Oh, okay.
Which is very nice.
That is nice.
And then we would schedule it or publish, whichever way. And boom. The other nice thing is revisions, which I guess I don't have any yet. So if I were to make a change now, just to test again, and again, gosh, not type today, again, and I update. The minute I click that update one time, I am getting a revision schedule built. So it shows you have 2 revisions. You can browse and see those 2 revisions. And you can always restore.
That's a good thing to be able to do.
Mm-hmm. So you could restore this vision. It is, yeah, it's incredible. Because, let's say that you've typed and typed and typed and typed and saved it, and then you go back in and you try to make some changes, and you in your mind, you think you messed it all up. You can always go back to the previous revision and start over. So it's kind of like there's no, you really cannot mess this up. Trust me, you can't.
That's good.
And I think we have gotten through just about every bit of this editor.
Well, there's a lot of good things to be able to do. This editor really does a lot.
It does. It is really incredible. I'm really, really thrilled with WordPress. I've been for a long time. And now you get the funky screen until I stop.
Yay! Well, I can see why, WordPress is considered, one of the best, blogging, I guess, tools out there.
It is, and the more updates they get out, it just gets better and better and better. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
So, the other thing that I thought we would talk about, if there are no questions on that.
Yeah, I don't see anyone that's made any comments yet. I don't know if my comment tracker's not running, but it seems like it was running. So.
And we have viewers, so.
Come on, guys. Any questions, comments?
I know I sometimes go way too fast. I try really hard not to. Okay, well, while we're waiting on comments, the other thing that I wanted to discuss today was, you remember last week we discussed the 2 of the bomb-proof formulas for opening a good blog post.
Yes.
The one was problem, agitate, solution. You introduce a problem, you use emotional language to agitate it, and you offer a credible solution.
Right.
That one's not my favorite.
Right.
However, it is really used a lot, and it works, unfortunately. Number 2 is AIDA, A-I-D-A, and that stands for attention, interest, desire, and action. So what you do is first you grab the attention of your readers, you pique their interest by telling them all kinds of cool things about what you're offering. You create desire by explaining a measurable benefit, and then you prompt the user to take action with a call to action. So that one's pretty easy to understand.
Mm-hmm.
The third one is often referred to as Bob Stone's gem. Now, Bob Stone was an early American copywriter, and he used this in his sales letters. Excuse me.
Mhm.
And for direct mailing, direct response. And it's a long one. It has 7 steps. You start with your strongest benefit. You expand on the benefit. You explain how the reader can experience the benefit. And then you back up your statements with supporting copy, usually measurable evidence. And you tell your readers what they're going to lose if they don't act right now. So if you don't act now, act now within the next 24 hours, so the price goes back to normal or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I got a scratch.
Mm-hmm.
And then you sum up the most important benefits. And number 7 is you include a call to action.
Okay.
Excuse me. So does that make sense?
It does. I believe the one problem with that is people have come to not trust the so-called you're going to lose out if you don't act within the next 24 hours. So what happens is you got to actually follow through, because you got to train people to realize that if they don't, they actually lost out.
Right.
And
I think the internet's gotten really bad at that. You have 24 hours to act, and yet you can go back in 3 hours, 3 days later.
5 days later, a year later, and they still got the same sale running. Or what about Macy's? I mean, today's a 24-hour sale. Really? Well, what about Friday? Got the 24-hour sale. Oh, it's the 4th of July sale. But okay, today's the May Day sale. I mean, it's always a sale.
Right.
So really, I can understand doing a lot of that. But honestly, if you're saying something, you better only have it for a certain period of time, and then be willing to cut it off. Otherwise, you have no credibility.
I totally agree with you.
And so therefore, you've got to really think about that. Okay, here we go. Here we go. A viewer, yay!
Well, we have quite a few, like I said.
But one that wants to comment. Roy Montero, great overview, Arizona Low. So many people need to know the basics. Yay, good job.
Thank you, Roy. And Roy is the pro of BS. Backstory. Knowing everybody's backstory.
Oh, good, cool, awesome. I know, Arizona's great at teaching us the basics. So, and thank you, Arizona. So anyway, definitely teaching me. So anyway, but yeah, so I would say that is probably the one thing that I would put into clause, is that if you're going to put out an offer and say that you only have a certain time to act on this, that you got to close it down.
Mm-hmm.
Because when people come back, 2 days later and say they want it for, you got to say, sorry.
And there again, you, especially on the internet, you always have the if somebody contacts you 2 days later and says, oh, I wanted to do this and I just didn't have time, you can always give it to them in the back end on a cell. Does that make sense?
I understand what you're trying to say. What I'm saying is that if you are offering something, it gets out. It will get out, and you have to, make sure that what you're saying really is what you're offering. Because those people who acted and took action, should be rewarded for that. And
I agree.
And the people who didn't need to realize that, okay, this person that they're dealing. Well, I guess it obviously depends on what you're selling and what type of relationship you're building. If you're trying to build a relationship with long-term clients and customers, and you want them to realize that you have integrity, then you can't, go back on your word.
I understand what you're saying, and then I agree to a point, and I definitely agree that you do not want to make it public. So, like, if you have on a website and you say 5-day sale, the sale ends on Friday, then Saturday morning people better wake up and see no more sale price.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if people were to contact you, and when I say on the back end, I mean like via email or using a contact form on your website or whatever, you can actually go ahead and do something like, yeah, the sales ended and I'm really not supposed to do this, but how about let me go ahead and get this to you?
Mm-hmm. I don't agree.
I've seen that technique used so often and so successfully as far as building long-term relationships.
No, I agree with you on giving them something, but not what was offered, and not the same amount that was offered, because it's a matter of the people who acted. This is just my personal thought.
Mm-hmm.
The people who act, or you can say, look, I'm going to have this special again. It's going to happen, 2 months from now or a month from now. If you want to wait till then to sign up, that's when it's going to happen. And I'm going to do that then. If you want to sign up now, instead of the 25% off, I can give you 10% off, and a free blah 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 blah, or something like that. But I really, really believe that the people who act, who trust you to stay true to your word, and acted on that, when you say the sale ends, this 25% off, this is a special deal, and it ends at such and such a time, you need to be true to your word. That's who I am. And I know other people will work around that, and I agree with working with people. I'm not saying you can't work with people. I'm just saying that the people who acted need to be treated special, because they acted, they came to the plate, and they were there, and they opened their wallets, they opened their pocketbooks, they said, yeah, okay, I'm trusting you that you're going to end your sale. And so therefore, to me, that's that level of trust that you're building with that person. Now, the other people that come later on and say, hey, for some reason I missed it, I couldn't get together the money, blah, 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 but I really want to work with you. You say, okay, I understand. I can work with you. The sale's coming around later. I can give you 10% off. Obviously you can work with people. I'm not saying, there's a hard line, but because you do want to be able to work with people. But still, there is that, place of when you end something, sometimes you just got to end something, especially if it's a sale.
Yeah, I can totally understand what you're saying.
And it just is, because I think you're probably going to give that sale 2 months later, if it works successfully, and say, wait 2 months, come back to me, or there's other ways to work with people, but if you start doing it, closed doors or whatever, it gets out.
Mm-hmm.
It does. That's just my thought. I don't know. I think, but again, I'm not advocating not to work with people. I'm just saying maybe not to the extent the people rewarding the people that actually open their wallets, unless maybe there was a really good reason. Again, I'm flexible. I guess I can see someone that just couldn't for some reason get their money together. But I mean, maybe they should have approached you during the sale. Did they approach you during the sale and say, "Hey, I can't get the money together until next week, but I'm signing today. Can I pay next week?" Then they actually bought during the sale.
That's true. And I guess flexibility, as long as publicly, I think I'm with you. Publicly, it has to come down.
So anyway, I guess that's the thing. I mean, if someone actually comes to you during the sale and says, "Look, I'm one to buy. I'm committed to buying," and you say, "Yes, okay," and they say, "But I can't pay till next week," they bought during the sale.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Okay, well, you want to do the last?
That's enough of my, my thoughts. Those are my thoughts at this time. That could change. Maybe I'll write a blog on this.
There you go. That actually would make a really interesting blog.
It's opinionated.
Opinions are good. Okay, so we have one more formula to go through.
All right.
And it's called the approach formula. And this is probably my personal favorite. Although if you've been watching my posts, I have been testing out all these other ones. There's 6 parts.
Okay.
And it's a soft sell that was adapted from a template that was used by door-to-door salesmen originally, right, way back in the day.
Maybe I'll have an opinion on this too.
Okay, so the first thing you want to do is arrive. And you arrive by saying something to the reader that they're going to agree with, something that's very non-threatening, and you definitely get their head shaking yes. The second part is you propose. You propose a certain course of action, something that most people who are already shaking their head yes because you arrive with the positive statement, they're going to be agreeing with that too. Then you gently persuade the reader that a particular course of action, whichever your call to action is the correct choice to make. And you reassure them by overcoming any possible objections. Right from the get-go, you handle as many of those objections as you think you may have. Then you make your offer, and boom, get your call to action and ask for the order.
Cool.
I'm waiting for your opinion.
On that one, that's a lot. There you go. I think you're just doing a lot of persuading there. So I think it's
I like handling the objections. I love one of the things I always do whenever I try to put something together is figure out all the different objections that I can think of. And so that part of it I really like. Just get it over with right from the get-go. So
yeah, it's there's so many different things to think about when it comes to trying to persuade someone.
There are, and it's you have to put yourself in the other person's shoes. You have to be able to see their reality.
You do.
So that's that. I think our show's about over. What do you think?
I personally believe that when you're able to not be invested and you can walk away is when you really have the ability to I don't want to use the word win, but in one way I really do want to say win. When you know that you can actually just walk away
and accept a no if they give a no.
Accept a no. then you're not beholden, and you can look at it really objectively, and you really, and to me, I look at it as an energy exchange, and you're really in your own energy space. That's how I see it, because I see energy. But when you just have the ability to say, I don't need this, it's okay, then then other people really open up and have the ability to objectively look at something, and they're much more likely to say yes when you don't constantly go after them and need the yes from them.
Well, I do, when I'm doing sales, I do think of it as a game. But it's a game where the no's way outnumber the yeses typically. And the best salesmen that I've ever run into have been very, they're doing exactly what you're saying. They are able to walk away from a no without being hurt, or they're not invested.
There's no investment, and it's an interesting place, because once you need that yes, I look at it psychically, but I'm sure there's a lot of psychological studies on it, and the minute you need a yes and you're invested and you feel like you have to get that yes, it's a power struggle.
Right.
And when you don't need that yes, when you can actually just walk away from it and you don't need it, you actually have the dynamic changes.
And I think that power struggle can be portrayed in online. So we're not just talking about face-to-face sales.
Oh yeah, absolutely, online or wherever. Anytime you don't need to have something, people describe it as that neediness, or I've got to have it, or desperation, or you come across, I've got to have this. This has to happen.
Right.
And people shy away from that. They don't want to be around it.
Right. Okay, you want to tell them something about yourself before we leave for the day?
Let's see. What do I want to tell anyone about myself for today? That I'm having a great time doing the show with you. This is good. I'm learning a lot, and I'm enjoying sharing my learning about blogging, and opening up about what I don't know about blogging and about my computer skills to the world. So this is good. This is exciting.
Well, there is nothing wrong with, okay, my strength is in computer skills, but I've been playing with it for almost 40 years now. That's scary. But, you're a psychic. I wouldn't even know where to begin there. Yeah. So everybody has their own strengths.
Everybody has their own strengths. They do. They do. So this is good. I'm excited to do the show. So that's cool. What I'm sharing today.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, and I guess we're going to say bye then. I want to remind everyone to please head out to todaysvisions.com, get your free blog space, free promotion, free training via the show. So I hope everyone will join.
All right.
We'll talk to y'all later. Bye.
Bye, guys.